Hi, my name is Omar Small, and you're now kicking it with Brother Smalls. We have a special guest tonight, Esjae, the entertainer. He's in the building. Esjae is in the building. He is a multi-hyphenate entertainer who you'll be able to see him in the upcoming series, the ABC series For Life. He also is a supporting vocalist. It was a supporting vocalist for Nick Jonas and also Demi Lovato. I'm going to ask him about this because I saw him on stilts, and I still got to figure out how he did this. He toured it with the European company with the Hair the Musical, and Esjae makes his big screen debut with the independent film Hail King. He's not going to stop. He's going to keep on going, and he's in the building, y'all. Esjae, hey man.
What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm great.
You all right?
Happy to be here.
Oh man, it's great that you spending some time with us. I really appreciate that, man. How was your holidays?
It was good, eventful. In terms of New Year's, I always have a gig on New Year's, singing usually at a venue. So it was nice. Got to see the family during Thanksgiving and Christmas. So
awesome,
it was cool,
awesome. Are you like a New Year's resolution guy?
No, I stopped doing that a long time ago because I don't want to hold myself accountable for something that is sometimes unattainable, or if it is attainable, I'd rather just have it happen as opposed to have certain parameters for it. So
got it. Mm-hmm. So I mean, you definitely have goals, but it's not like resolution. January 1st to No, you don't. Mm-hmm. Okay.
No, because I try to maintain those things throughout the year, so I don't have to feel like, oh, this next year is the time to start that. So
sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. I read that you're originally from the Bronx.
Yep. Boogie down.
Boogie down Bronx.
BX.
Yeah. And then they brought you up here in Westchester, in New Rochelle.
Yeah, 9th grade, so 99. Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's interesting. I've been following your career, and it's been a really amazing. I've kind of seen a lot of different things. The last thing I saw you do was the flick. Violet.
In Violet, yeah.
That musical was so complex in so many different ways. How was it playing Flick?
It was my hardest role to date. It was the most challenged. I mean, I've been on many stages. I've done other shows, independent, not independent, straight plays and musicals, but because it's a combination of both, embodying who he was, like one of the directions from the director was, I need you to be like that soldier. Yeah. And so in my regular life, I'm more chill, artistic, kind of almost like he's eccentric, but I had to be like that dude who's from I guess Alabama or something like that. Yeah. And had that accent. The accent was the most challenging part of that because I had to still emote with the intention and diction with this Southern accent. So that was a huge challenge for me.
You did that thing, and you did that thing, and you were brolic too. I mean, what you doing, man? You look good, man. What's going on?
Well, first, thank you. It's pilot season, and I don't know if you want to get into this conversation already, but I have a certain diet. I have a certain way that I live now. Sure. Because I know that it supports what I do artistically. So I just cut out a lot of stuff and added some more things as far as working out is concerned.
A lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people appreciate, how fitness plays a role. I mean, you're a performer. I've seen you perform and sing and dance and you act as well. What's the role of fitness in all of that?
I mean, it really depends on the type of actor or performer you want to be. Because there's plenty of people who are character actors and they kind of live in a specific space. But, you and I are spiritual people. A lot of times where you're called. And I've been called to be a leading actor in most stuff I've been in. So I can't just slip into the ensemble. So within that, usually it's the height or it's just the stature. They're going to want me to look a certain way. So I just adhere to that as opposed to kind of fight against it,
Got it. No, man, you look good, man. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Same to you.
Interestingly enough, the other thing that I really appreciate about what you do is I saw you and it seemed like you were sharing. Not only you were sharing your gift, but it seemed like you were sharing with the other actors. What I mean by that, sometimes you can look at a performance and it's almost like a tug of war. You know what I mean? There's not a flow situation. Right. When I saw you play Flick, it was like there was a symmetry there. You know, is that purposeful? Is that, due to your training? What is that?
I think it's a combination of everything. My training, number one. Number two, one of the things that the director told me, he was just like, great acting, but we have to feel you too. So there was times I had to cheat out to the audience more because I'm an actor who is, if I'm here with you, I'm in the scene and I'm there.
Got it.
And so there's just a balance. I am used to some commercial and TV acting, but getting back to theater, I'm just really into feeling the emotion with the person I'm speaking to, not just above them or around them. So that's maybe what you saw.
And I definitely thought it was felt. I know I felt it, and I thought the crowd felt it as well. Really, really appreciate that. So I mean, again, you're at this place now. You're going to be in the upcoming ABC series. Life.
For Life.
For Life. Tell us about that.
That experience was crazy. I actually wrote this on my Facebook wall. It's been 16 years, when I was 18 years old, since I started in this industry. My mom took me to this kind of place that we thought was going to garner more TV and film work, but it was basically a conduit to extra work.
Got it.
And then from there, I started to find that there was a lot of scams like that during the time, but unless you had an agent, you had no kind of direct link to these places like TV. So finally, after being signed for 3 years with my agency, I started to book late last year, and right before Christmas, I found out that I booked my first co-star. So For Life was that co-star role.
Wow.
Out of many other independent things, I've been on TV before, but only cable, only like things that were smaller, which I cherish, but they weren't ABC.
Of course.
So yeah, man, that was an emotional but wonderful experience. It really was.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, again, you've toured, you've been on the stage with a lot of different actors. Was there ever a moment where you kind of said, let me pinch myself? I'm with, I'm next to X, Y, and Z. Was there ever a moment like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple moments. There was a moment with you years ago.
Okay.
Where
Get out of here.
Do you remember? We were filming here. You were, I guess, supervising something, and Samuel L. Jackson was on set. And and that was an interesting dynamic, but it was just funny meeting him and kind of, I wasn't a part of the production, but I was there, and you were gracious enough to let me kind of sit in, and that was kind of still within the budding stages of me training and being in school. And then For Life was crazy because I saw a show called Jitney. I don't know if you heard of it on Broadway, and it's basically about like a cab station where it's all black owned, and there's a lot of great performances. It's really heavy monologues, and an actor named Brandon Durden was in it. And he was acting alongside me in this new upcoming series For Life. And so I just couldn't believe that he respected my work. He spoke on my Facebook wall highly of me, and I was just like, he didn't have to do that. So I was like, wow, at least I'm leaving some sort of precedent that makes people understand, like, I'm serious about this. I don't just like that you're a celebrity. I love my work. So that was the most recent time.
I don't necessarily throw this word around, but you're authentic. And I think, that's really a part of acting that's, very important. And actually, people know it, people can feel it when you're authentic. And you are authentic. I really appreciate what you do. Tell us about, some of your inspirations, some of the things that, maybe some of the actors. Some of the actors that that you've looked up to.
First person that comes to mind is Sidney Poitier.
Yes.
I was young, and my father was watching movies like To Serve with Love and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, and I was just like, wow, the sophisticated brother who is very Afrocentric in his face is just bringing the amount of class that I feel that I want to be and aspire to be, because my father's like that. So it was kind of me looking at a guy who reminded me of my dad, but he was an actor, and then I just thought, how can I get there? How can I get there? And so anything that he did, and people who were kind of his contemporaries like him, as the consequent years came, I just said, I want to leave that type of impression. That's
That's wow. It's interesting, and we may get back to it, because I wanted to kind of, we'll talk about like future and where do you see yourself and that sort of thing, but that's amazing. I mean, I think of some of the stalwarts like James Earl Jones.
Oh, yes.
I think about Morgan Freeman, obviously Denzel, Harry Belafonte.
Huge.
Yeah, I mean, just when you see them, it's almost like, I don't know, they take you somewhere else. You know what I mean? It's just an amazing feeling,
Yeah, it's what you were saying about them being authentically themselves. They're all great men, but so different in their work that we can appreciate them for who they are, which I think is a big element of me as an actor. I'm like, there's many guys out here who they can say, oh, you look like Esjae, or you look like him, but what is my imprint saying is what I try to always bring. Wow,
that's huge. What is your imprint? I was thinking about. Your opportunity and what you bring to your craft, and what makes you unique. Again, everybody. It sounds like you can appreciate the uniqueness in somebody else, but recognize that, hey, I'm nice too, right? You ever see that? I don't know, the Dave Chappelle Block Party movie?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you see when Jill Scott was talking about, and I guess somebody was talking about Erykah Badu, and she was just like, yeah, she's good, but have you heard me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, well, okay.
I lived to that moment.
Oh my God.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. But it takes time, because I think that we live in a comparative world already.
Sure.
Social media doesn't help us out in that way. But at the same token, to have the confidence in what you do is just a testament to your hard work in honing your craft.
Sure.
It doesn't take away from that person.
Sure.
But you have to build that up and your own self-esteem, because if you don't, you're going to be like, well, I mean, Omar's over here and he got a show. It's like, well, I can have a show too.
That's right.
And you can watch his show as soon as you watch my show.
In that, I mean, do you kind of glean certain things? Like, for instance, if you see somebody perform, do you kind of look and say, I may have, tried to convey that message this way or that way? Do you do that now?
You mean like someone in the same role, or just like, what do you?
Just in general, I mean, because for instance, doctors look at the world differently.
Yeah.
Lawyers look at the world from a legal point of view. Doctors look at the world from a physical point of view.
Right.
You're a performer. You're an actor. You know what I'm saying? Do you look at do you look at life in that way?
Yeah, I mean, from the actor perspective, sometimes, like, I'll say some of my contemporaries, like Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, who people would kind of compare us. Yeah. I see, like, oh, these choices they're making either in the roles or just in the work.
Sure.
I think about how would I go about that, and what is similar to me, and then what I would bring, and then it also informs, like, my next project. If there was a sensitivity, if there was like a feeling, I might pull from that, and it will inform my performance. But in terms of life in general, you got to be observant to be an actor, because you're tapping into true emotion that people have to feel, because the whole thing is believability. So if you didn't believe me as Flick, we might not be having this conversation. So
no, you was definitely Flick, without a doubt. Tell us a little bit about your experience overseas. I mean, I saw you, man, on still. I mean, whoa.
Yeah. That was interesting. That was my first big show I did. I was really young, and Hair the Musical was such an eye-opening experience, because it embodied not only theater, it was my first experience on television.
Sure.
Really seeing those lights are different when they're in your face, as opposed to just seeing a behind-the-scenes video of somebody doing it.
Sure.
And at that time, YouTube wasn't big yet, so you didn't really get any type of insight. You're just like, I'm just going with this train running. Like, I can't be like, let me find out what it's like to be in a moving train going 90 miles an hour. No, it was crazy. And we recorded the songs quickly, but everything was in Italian except for the music.
That's it. When I saw you, act in Italian, I was like, whoa. Wow. How long did it take you to get there?
We phonetically learned everything, and usually Broadway shows take about a month to learn, and then you start the preview process. So it was the same thing for us. We were staying in the villa all together. We had our lines out here. We were phonetically learning it with a dialect coach, and it was the most frustrating thing for me, because I'm such a perfectionist. So I'm like, if any of these Italians in my show, because it was a mix between Americans and Italians and some German people, I said, please do not tell me I don't sound authentic, because the audience is going to feel that way too. So I had a lot of struggle to just make sure, like, if you say La Chiamata, it's not La Chiamata. Like, you got to really say things the right way. So because of that, now I remember all my lines. But but it was a challenge, and I respect it now. And anything else that comes after that, I'm like, y'all didn't say these words in Italian. You don't know what it's like for me. Yeah.
Did you infuse yourself with the culture as well?
Yeah. Over the course of 2 years, I was back and forth in Italy, so it feels like a second home. So I lost some of the language, but if I hear two Italian people speaking right now, I'm like, I know the sense of what you're talking about. Don't talk about me, but I know what you're talking about. Right. It's a beautiful country, and I got to visit 44 different areas of the country and over 30 theaters and different production houses, and I got to collaborate with a house production team doing music, and really wonderful. Really, I don't take it for granted.
No, and I heard you say that you recommend the travel. You recommend getting out and getting away. I think so. I haven't been to Europe yet, but I definitely want to go. I've been to Asia. I've been to China. That was just a magical trip, and I have to kind of get back there. Definitely want to get back there.
You do, yeah.
Yeah. Have you been?
No. I haven't been to China, but I was really referring to that Europe. You got to go to Europe.
Definitely. Yeah. We'll do. So I guess I wanted to kind of get into. I mean, you also have like not only your acting, but you're also musically inclined. I love you.
Oh.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's just like like that. That's that driving music. Okay. You kind of pump that.
You playing that in the car?
Playing in the car. You didn't play it in the car?
I mean, ain't no car while I'm living in Harlem, but soon.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, man, that was good. Yeah. And the thing about I enjoy about you is your creativity, but you also are not afraid to kind of test yourself. The reason why I say that you did a video of Say Yes. Michelle Williams. Yeah, and it was just I don't know what came over you. Why'd you do it? I mean, and you incorporated not only your musical gifts, but also your puppetry as well.
Yeah. Tell us a lot of people don't know I've been a puppeteer since I was 12 years old. My father is so amazing. He's just a genius. I mean, he's never got a B in his life, so that's how you know he's a brainiac. Yeah. But in terms of that, he was also very crafty. Yes. So we would make marionettes when I was younger, and puppets and origami, and this is my dad. Yeah. And you know my dad, so when you start to get to know a person like that, you're like, he may seem quiet, but there's so much in there. So I really accredit that to him, and of course my mom is a musician. They both are. But as far as Say Yes goes, Michelle Williams is somebody I admire deeply because she has been a support system for me in my interactions with her. Wow. And, the last time I was around her, she got me tickets to see her as the lead of Roxy Hart in Chicago. She said, the next person on Twitter who guesses the food I had today gets 2 tickets. And I got 2 tickets for my birthday. Took a friend of mine, and she said, she comes out, she goes, Esjae? Yeah. And then she's talking to me, and then she shared Say Yes, and it went from 300 views to 7,000 views within a few months. So it was not, I didn't know that was going to happen, but it was just, I guess I manifested it in just my admiration for her talent and who she is, And I feel that because she's underrated, I have felt the same way in my life. Oh, you sleeping on me? Just watch me. So that's really where her inspiration comes from for me.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. Now, we went to I guess your music inspirations. Tell us about that. What were your music inspirations?
Yeah, I mean, I've been a recording artist since before I was in Italy, and I was supposed to come out with an album right after it, but things didn't work out, and so there's so much music that I have inside of me. My music influences, at first, because I come from the church, came from mainly gospel artists, the people to mention Amy Grant, Sandy Patty, BB and CeCe Winans.
Got it.
On the secular side, it's Teddy Pendergrass, Lenny Kravitz, and Karen Carpenter. So all of that makes Esjae.
Got it.
So the stuff I'm going to come out with that I haven't released yet, hopefully I'll have a single out this year, it's going to air more on the side of a mix of the secular and the gospel artists. It's not going to be a gospel record, but it's definitely. I love soft '80s rock, so I really can't wait for people to see. I know people are like what, but that's like my favorite genre. It really,
cool.
really is. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's so cool. Mm-hmm. Hey, man, listening to you, I want to take a deep breath. I'm listening to you like, wow, I got a schedule. All right, so tell us about, how do you unwind? You got a lot of stuff going on. You're doing a lot of different things. How do you unwind?
A couple of ways, throughout the week, you won't be seeing me like exert too much energy vocally. I kind of sit in silence. I like to read. When I go to the gym, I always make sure right after a good workout, I'm in the sauna for a good 30 minutes sometimes, and I just decompress that way. And I wasn't like that before. Even when I was a gym, I'm like, you got to heat your body up and just get there, massage yourself somehow.
Sure.
And that helps me. And just being mindful about like not always having to say something is my way of meditation. Like there are things that come against us every day, and I'm always like, I don't have to respond right now. I can sit in what may bother me, but let me think before I respond or react in all these. And that comes from obviously being spiritual, but just being self-aware has really helped me in that way.
And you got to stay away from those guys in the gym that don't really work out. They just want to talk.
Listen, guys and girls, no discrimination. People the other day, somebody was like, "Mija, because que lo que?" I'm like, "Lady, you're on the leg machine. Can we get it?"
Exactly.
It's like
get your set in.
20 minutes. Jeez.
Oh man, that's cool. Some of your, you answered some of the. It's male actors. Mm-hmm. What are some of your favorite female actors?
One, Viola Davis. Seeing her in Fences was incredible.
Wow.
Her and Denzel, I was front row. I was like, wait a minute. What? Is there some dust in here? Because I don't know. There's water. I don't know what's going on. It was a lot to watch her. And then, of course, Meryl Streep is just incredible.
Sure.
Even in works that maybe I wasn't a fan of, I'm like, she saved this movie. Like, she kills it. And I think I love Kathy Bates. I love Alfre Woodard. Those are some that come to mind right now. Absolutely.
Awesome. I like Angela Bassett. I was actually there's a new I guess there's a film festival going on in the city. Black women, trailblazers, African American performances and images from 1920 to 2001. It's going to be at the Film Forum. And I think who's doing it? Donald. I don't know if you know Donald Bogle.
No, I'm not
He's
familiar.
a American film historian, and I think Ina Archer. Yeah, she's an experimental filmmaker, but fascinating, work. Because when you think about Lena Horne and Dorothy Dandridge and all of the, Eartha Kitt, Oprah.
Oprah's a great actress.
Oh my goodness, The Color Purple.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You told Harpo to.
You took it there. No cuckoo. No, that's Whoopi though. But Whoopi also.
But that was
the EGOT.
too. Oh man,
yeah.
She did that.
She
thing,
killed
man.
that.
She
Who doesn't
did
love Whoopi,
that thing,
right?
Man. And it's amazing. So I wanted to talk to you about what do you think about the more opportunities? Like, what are you watching now? What are you watching now?
Man, I mean, when I do get a chance to watch things, I'm like, wait, let me binge watch a few days, because there's Netflix now, so we have.
Sure.
I just finished watching the show Ambitions. That stars Robin Givens, which I've loved for a long time. But Robin and just the whole storyline, it's almost like it's a soap opera, but yet because it's like the leading characters are black.
Yeah.
It feels so different because I can identify immediately with just their experience.
Sure.
And the suspense of it may be like, hopefully I'm at the age where I can be in one of these type of shows, Yeah. I don't have to be the sidekick. I could be somebody's love interest where it's like, so I watch stuff almost like in that way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How about Queen Sugar?
Love Queen Sugar. I binge watched that too. Yeah,
right?
Ava DuVernay is
amazing, right?
Oh my God, and the actors.
And the actors, amazing. All of them. The whole cast is just like Tremendous. So
Yeah.
we'll have them here.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we got
Come on now.
Yeah, we're gonna have them.
Hey.
We're gonna have Ava. Come on, Ava.
Come on, Ava.
My goodness.
All right.
I'm
Yes,
telling you,
absolutely.
just amazing. Now, I was in Atlanta the other day, and I wasn't able to get to Tyler Perry's studio.
I can't even.
But I can't wait to kind of get to his studio.
Me too.
He's over 300 acres, bro.
I know. I think Will Smith mentioned it in some interview that it's like the biggest in the nation as far as sound studios. And I'm like, the nation?
Yeah.
That's big.
And it's to your point, like when I see, I mean, people have, different opinions about what's produced.
Right.
But there's something about seeing you on film. I mean, I get a good feeling.
Oh, thank you.
I just get a good feeling, and similar to what you said about ambitions and seeing people that not only can you identify with them, but you could see yourself. It's just a great thing. It's just a great thing.
And I can see myself working with Tyler for sure.
That's right. Come on, Tyler, let's go.
Hey, absolutely, absolutely.
Hey, man, before you go, let us know how to support you. How can we just kind of understand what you're doing and how to support what you're doing next.
Well, beyond following me on social media, which is the biggest thing, you can follow me at Esjae Music on all platforms, and then on Facebook it's just Esjae. It used to be The Entertainer, which is why he said in the beginning of the interview, but it's just Esjae now.
Okay.
And it's fine too because it works, but we already have Cedric, so
Yeah.
At the end of the day, just follow me on social media at Esjae Music, and I update on all platforms, Facebook, not Twitter so much anymore.
Got it.
But yeah, my Instagram is pretty active for sure.
Got it. One more question for you, man. Will you come back?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Come on.
man. You got to come back and let us know what you're doing.
Thank
all
you
right?
for having me. Absolutely.
No, it's awesome, brother.
Yes.
All right, man.
All right.
See you.
Omar,
Yeah,
you
all
too.
right. Yes, sir.
Informs, uplifts, and elevates, and inspires, takes you higher.